wherever you are and however you may be. We appreciate it. Live on Facebook and YouTube. He's my longtime friend for over a decade, diehard Met fan, Jets, Rangers, Miami Hurricanes, snowboarder, traveler, pitcher in high school. Now, these days, he's battling fires for a living. The one and only Mike Malone. Mike, welcome to the show. Mic'd Up Moments. How are you, man?
Good, Ken. How you doing?
Doing very good, man. I can't believe we've been friends for over a decade, man. How crazy is that, right?
Yeah, it's time flies,
Born and
Seems
raised, yeah, for sure, man. Born and raised in Brooklyn, part of Canarsie, right?
Yep.
95, age 6, you moved to Rockland County. What do you remember most about Brooklyn, man? Is Brooklyn your favorite borough? What do you think?
Yeah, of course. It's home, I just remember walking around, as a kid, going to parks and hanging out with friends and family.
Right,
It was a good time growing up.
for
I had
sure.
all my family and friends were in Brooklyn, so they lived pretty close, so it wasn't that it wasn't much of a hassle to get around.
For sure. If it wasn't Brooklyn, is there a second favorite borough?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, maybe the city, Manhattan.
Okay.
It's another easy way to get around.
Okay. I was hoping you would say the Bronx, because
Uh,
obviously.
I
Let's
never
see.
spent enough time in the Bronx, so
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Why Rockland County, man? Why not Westchester? How'd you guys hear about
That's a
Rockland?
that's a question for my parents, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
just one of
was
those.
I had no part in that decision.
Growing up, man, mom and dad were they strict?
I mean, in some things, for others, as I guess as normal as anyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Um, Now you went to Spring Valley High School.
I did. Yeah.
How do
Oh,
you remember any favorite teachers you had back in high school back in the day?
Uh, yeah. I had my the gym teacher who's actually my baseball coach,
Okay,
Mr. Pilla. Um, he helped me, through baseball and whatnot. Um, there was a few other teachers, that were he had a huge part when I went to class.
wait a minute. So you cut class a lot back in high school?
Ah, come on, man.
You ever got in trouble? You ever got suspended back in high school?
uh, yeah, once, yeah, for
Man,
for for cutting class. Um,
jeez.
but yeah. I had senioritis as a junior. What do you want? Actually, really, end of sophomore, junior year. What it is, what it is.
And you're an athlete, right? You gotta,
Yeah, yeah. I made it work.
now you're a high school pitcher in high school, right?
Yeah,
You threw a curve ball, knuckle curve, two seamer.
yeah.
Who got you into baseball, man? How did that come about?
So when I moved to Rockland County, I started playing Little League, and I joined at the time was the Chestnut Ridge Little League, which later became, I believe, East Ramapo Little League. And we used to play at Children's Park, and
Right.
that's how I met a lot of my friends, believe it or not. So some of my friends to this day we still hang out, and it stems from back then, playing Little League with them, and
Right.
my dad kind of got me into it, because he played baseball when he was younger,
Okay.
and I like I said, once I started Little League, I played, obviously, whatever it was, 3 4 years, and then eventually started playing, in middle school and high school.
You also play multiple positions too, right?
I did. I started out, mostly second base.
Okay.
In my Little League career, I was a second baseman, and then I kind of moved around the infield a little bit.
Okay.
Never really played first base, but second, short, third, played the outfield.
Right.
I caught a few times, but never like a full time catcher.
Right.
It wasn't until, like, I would say, probably eighth grade going to ninth grade. My middle school team going into freshman year of high school, where I really started focusing on pitching.
Right.
And from there, once I made it onto the varsity team in high school, it was pretty much pitching from there on out.
You prefer pitching over hitting any day, any
Oh
time of the
yeah,
week?
yeah. I was a terrible hitter. I was a terrible hitter. But I love pitching just because it was something so satisfying about striking someone out. You know,
How many?
especially in a big spot.
You ever hit anybody?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Intentionally? Intentionally?
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Best and worst game you ever had in high school?
Oh, all right. So the so my best game. So that's there's kind of a 1 and a 180 of that, but
Okay.
um the best game I'd say we were playing Suffern,
Okay.
which so at the time Spring Valley hadn't beat Suffern in probably 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was yeah they owned us, and it was kind of one of those. I was a relief pitcher at the time, and they had brought me up to start a few
Okay.
games back, and I impressed. So
Right.
they I ended up starting against this Suffern team, and I went out there and basically I was essentially through a shutout through the first 5 2/3 innings, whatever it was,
Wow.
and and I just remember the kids on Zephyr were pissed off because they couldn't hit me. And they were like,
Yeah.
they weren't used to being shut down like that, especially against Spring Valley /
Right.
Rampo.
Right.
And yeah, so it was I think I was taken out with one out in the I guess top of the seventh.
Okay.
But up until that point, I gave up a run, and yeah, it was awesome. I think I had like 12 strikeouts. Yeah, and I think I gave up like I think it was 2 hits.
Wow.
Yeah,
Pretty good. Almost pitched a
yeah.
no-no.
Close.
Worst. Close enough.
Yeah.
Worst game you ever had?
So this is probably towards the end of that same year. I was actually leading the section in ERA the whole year.
Right.
Yeah, for most of the year, sorry. And going up against North Rockland, like one of the last games of the season,
Mhm.
and same kind of situation. North Rockland would always own Spring Valley for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something: those kids get hit.
Yeah.
I think I gave up three, 4 home runs that game,
Mm.
and that was like that was the worst game to date. I think I lasted maybe like 2 innings or whatever it was, and my ERA went from like .6 to like 1.8 or some shit like that.
Right.
Um, so but it happens. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's baseball for you.
Yeah,
Most strikeouts you ever had in a game?
I think 12.
12 Ks.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you any superstitious things before the game? Tie your shoes a certain way, laces, gloves.
I was never really a superstitious kind of person, to be
Right.
honest. Uh,
Okay. What were you throwing back in high school though? 80s, 70s? What were you throwing back then?
yeah, I wasn't necessarily a power pitcher, but I could locate the ball. My ball had a lot of movement. So it was tough to read for the hitters. And then it might look like a fastball coming in, but then it would just suddenly dip. I had a nice little
Right.
sinker.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be overpowering. You just have to be able to locate the pitches.
Good stuff, mechanics and all that stuff.
Yep, yep.
When's the last time you threw a baseball?
When's the last time I threw a baseball?
Yeah.
So probably within the last year. I was helping my cousin coach his kids.
Okay.
They're in little league right now. He's got a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. So I was helping him coach. So that's probably the last time I threw a baseball. But before that, it was a while for sure.
Stealing signs. How hard is it to do on second base as a pitcher? You got a batter on second. You're pitching up there. Pretty easy to steal signs.
I mean, it depends. I mean, I don't I don't think anyone's ever stolen signs from me, but it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things where if the catcher's not discreet about it, yeah, it's somewhat easy to see. I sense a Yankee segment for that. So
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees are playing the Astros. Look at that. What do you think? What do you make of the whole Astros situation? What they did back in the day, a couple years
the
ago.
the garbage can and all that.
Yeah, and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, Listen, I mean, I don't agree with it, but at the end of the day, I mean, they still got to hit the ball, and they still got to
Yeah,
win the game. So
yeah,
it's even though you know what pitches are coming, yeah, you still got to make contact and hit the ball.
yeah, for sure. Any crazy high school stories you got for us today? You planning on going to the high school reunion, or we were talking about that a couple days ago?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, my 20 years coming up in 2 years, so maybe I'll
Man,
go to that.
wow.
Um, I mean, I have some stories, but none I really want to get into. Let
Oh
bygones be
man,
bygones. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. You still keep in touch with certain friends from high school, right? You guys are still close. You guys go to
I do.
weddings and stuff. You hang out with them and all that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. We matter of fact, I'm coming up in a few weeks, and we already made plans to go golfing, go to the Met game, and also see some friends I haven't seen in a year or so. So
Yeah,
yeah, we keep in touch. So it's and now with social media, it's even easier to keep in touch.
for sure, for
We
sure.
talk pretty much not every day, but a few times a week.
Yeah.
You know,
What do you miss most about high school? What do you miss most about it?
what do I miss most about high school? Not
Yeah.
being an adult. Adulting, adulting sucks.
But you know what's funny though? Growing up, you want to be an adult, right? You want to get old. You want to do
Yeah,
this. You want
yeah.
to do
So,
that. And then when it hits
it's
you,
absolutely.
yeah,
Back then, all I really ever want to do, I was like, this sucks. I can't wait to be an adult.
yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well. It's funny because the first, let's say age 5 to like 18 years old,
Right.
um, it felt like it took forever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
once I want to say probably like 22, 23, and now I'm 36. That time frame from like 22 to 36, honestly, it feels like I was 22 yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how time goes. It seems quicker when you get older. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, I don't know. But it just seems like it goes by way way faster now than it ever did.
For sure. Oh, it's unbelievable, man. Unreal.
Yeah, yeah,
So life after high school, you worked at Ruby Tuesdays as a server for 1 year. Then you host a couple things there. Then they closed
yeah,
down, right?
yeah.
What do you miss most about that mall, man? Nanuet Mall. You miss that
Well,
place?
I mean, it was kind of a childhood thing because I moved to Rockland County when I was 5, so
Yeah.
basically from five on, it was I grew up going to Nanuet Mall, so
Right.
it was like I would say a big part of childhood, um, and then obviously they tore it down and built a new mall. Um,
Yeah.
I don't even know what's there. I haven't been there in a while, so
Yeah. There's a couple stores there. There's
yeah,
movie theater, Buffalo Wild Wings, and
yeah,
BJ's, and a gym as well, and all that stuff over there. So
yeah.
yeah. So that kind of prepared you for the mothership, right? Known as Cheesecake Factory. Who hired you, by the way? Was it Andre hired you back then at Cheesecake?
Andre and Greg, one of the two, I think.
Andre and Greg hired you back
Yeah.
then. Wow. That's when we met. And
Yep.
what was it like working at CCF, man? The uniforms and all that stuff coming from Ruby Tuesdays to Cheesecake Factory. It was a big adjustment there, right?
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass keeping that all white uniform white. Whoever decided that was a good idea.
Hey, he had a white apron, white shirt, white
Yeah,
pants, white shoes.
I didn't stand a chance.
Man, oh man. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Did you pick up the menu pretty fast though? The menu's pretty big, right? Cheesecake Factory menu.
Yeah, menu's huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Any crazy guests you can remember dealing with? Any crazy guests that stood out?
I mean, not really. I mean, you had your well, and I guess the fire service are calling freaking flyers, but the guests that come all the time.
Yeah.
One guest I remember, but I wouldn't say he's crazy, but it was Jeffrey. I don't know if you remember him
Oh
or his
yeah. Oh
friend. Yeah,
Jeffrey. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So I had him and his family a few times. So yeah.
For sure. Any cheese mares, nightmares working there?
The standard stuff.
I used to get chased by, still to this day, man. Thai lettuce wraps, avocado egg rolls, taking like multiple tables, man. It never gets old, man.
Getting triple sat,
Getting triple sat, yeah.
party of 10, party of 8, party of 6. Man, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing to me?
Oh man, the good old
And
days,
they all
man.
wanted the brown bread, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have to call for the bread because the bread wasn't
Uh,
ready. Yeah, you gotta wait. So
yeah,
a lot of people don't know this, but you picked up that shift for me that day. I thought you got a raw deal though. That bar one shift, I didn't want that shift, and you picked up that shift for
yeah,
me. You ended
yeah,
up getting secret shoppers.
yeah,
You remember anything about that report? I mean, you're a pretty damn good server, so I don't. I was kind of weird and baffling to me as to why they
yeah.
just
It was. I
like
was
letting you
closing, you
go.
know,
Yeah,
and they walked in. Honestly, they probably walked in 10 minutes before closing time.
yeah,
You know what? I think closing time was 11, so it's probably like, I don't know, 10 to 11, whatever it was.
right.
And yeah, just luck of the draw, I guess. You know, um, I thought everything went smoothly, and then you know the next, I guess within the next two shifts, they're like, yeah, so the secret shopper, you got a
Yeah,
bad score. I'm like, oh, damn, all right.
yeah. It's
So
crazy.
yeah,
It's kind of weird because you have to hit like multiple steps too, right? Say the last name,
yeah,
describe certain
yeah,
things,
yeah,
name of the credit card, and if you didn't do that, it's
yeah,
like you were gone, man. It's just
yeah,
unbelievable how things were
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do it or not. I have no idea.
It's something
But
similar now called
yeah,
Medallia scores, but not as like intense as it was back in the day. I think a lot of these guys now would probably have a hard time adjusting to the
yeah,
secret
because
shoppers.
like you said, you missed one or two things, but it's like you know the points off was
Yeah,
substantial.
it's crazy, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy. Last time you went to Cheesecake Factory?
Uh, Probably 6, 7 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You still friends with anybody else besides me? You got Christine. Shout out to Christine, by the way. Good friend of ours.
Um, no, I think honestly just YouTube for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you ever serve again, ever again? Or serving is over?
Uh, no, no. I like where I'm at.
Because sometimes you get that itch. You're like, maybe I can bartend another shift, one shift or two, and see where it's at and see what happens. Nah, you're doing
Yeah, no, I don't foresee that in my future.
good. Oh man! So after Cheesecake was over, you went to Fridays for a little bit, and then moving to Florida, man.
Yeah.
What prompted you to move there? It's just one of those things. We always talked about it. With me, you, and Stu always talked about it, right?
Yeah, we did. You know, luckily I had a means to do it.
Right.
No, I'll be honest. You know, I always wanted to be a fireman. That was my goal since I was a young kid. And you know, when I was first eligible to take the you know the FDNY exam, I took it. I was 17 years old,
Yeah.
and I just remember I didn't score well enough. And you know, so that was my first time taking it, and then I took it again when I was 4 years later. I guess when I was 21, 22 years old. Same kind of thing. I just didn't score well enough, and then I took it a third time. But I believe the third time I was already down in Florida. But anyway, I
Yeah.
took it a third time, and it just never panned out.
Mhm.
And you know, I at that moment I'm like, well, this probably isn't going to happen, but I don't necessarily want to give up, you know. So I started applying other places, and um, you know, I just wanted to broaden my horizons, if you will, and
Yeah.
it was a combination of that, and honestly, I just got tired of New York, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I would come down to Florida a handful of times a year, and I loved it down here, and I'm like, I could see myself living here,
Right.
and within a short 5 years, yeah, I made it a reality. So
Yeah. The rest is history.
yeah,
Stu, our dear friend who we lost a couple of years ago, you and him both Met fans, Hurricane fans.
yeah.
Shed some light. What do you miss most about Stu, man?
Just just talking shop about the Mets. He was a obviously a big time Met fan, and also the Canes too. Don't find too many Canes fans around, and so it's nice to have that connection.
Yeah.
Him and I went to California.
Yeah.
what you were supposed to come on that trip, but I
Mhm,
had to cancel the last minute or something.
mhm.
So he was a good dude, man. He's missed for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. We had some fun, man. We did baseball tours,
Yeah, yeah,
football tours, went to San Fran to
yeah,
see the
yeah,
Niners, Raiders, then
yeah,
drove
yeah.
from LA, drove to San Fran, drove back the same day on a flat
Well,
tire.
so that yeah, yeah. So that was kind of crazy because
Yeah,
if you remember, we had gone down to San Diego. So the night before San Francisco,
yeah,
we had gone down to San Diego, which is about a 2 hour drive, and dude, we stayed out till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
yeah,
Bar hopping, whatever it was. Got back to LA, and I think we slept an hour.
yeah,
And then we drove to San Francisco 6 hours. On like 2 hours worth of an hour, 2 hours of sleep.
yeah.
Drove up there, um, caught a football game. Like you said, Oakland Raiders and
Raiders and,
Niners
and Niners.
at Candlestick.
Old Candlestick
And
before they
yeah,
blew it up. That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
and so I remember, it was basically I guess the second or third week of August. So it was hot in LA. It was
Yeah,
90, 95, and I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Didn't think anything of it,
right.
and had no idea that San Francisco was not 90 degrees in August. So so when we got there and it's 65 degrees, my
Yeah.
ass was freezing.
Oh, it was cold. It was cold. It was cold.
And I had no sweatshirt. I was in, like I said, a t-shirt and shorts, and
Right.
yeah.
Jeez. But how cool was that to see old Candlestick, the old bathrooms, and a fight broke out at that game,
It
Raiders
was
and Niners?
it was cool. It was an
Typical.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of. I always knew the Raiders fans were crazy. I just see it up close and personal was something
Right.
else.
Jeez, man. It's unbelievable,
Yeah,
man. They tore that place down. A lot of
yeah,
memories, man. A lot of memories. Thank
yeah,
God we made it back from LA to from San Fran to LA, right? Flat tire and
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That was something
yeah,
else, man.
yeah. Because getting a flat tire in the middle of the desert would not have been ideal.
For sure. We're talking about Stu and Miami Hurricanes. I know you guys both hate Ohio State. How much you hate
Yes.
sports hate the Ohio State University?
To this day, I still get upset. I still get pissed off about that call.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It was the worst pass interference call I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I know it's 20, 25 years later. I don't give a shit. Like that
Yeah.
was the worst call I've ever seen as far as pass interference. I mean, for the team was on the field celebrating, for God's sake, and then they
Yeah.
throw the flag.
Right.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, we missed Stu dearly. And you got a top five favorite Miami Hurricanes of all time? You got a top five list?
In terms of players,
Yeah, in terms of players, who do you got? Who you got? Who's on that Mount Rushmore?
uh, well, I mean, honestly, I'd say, well, one of my favorite players, Jonathan Vilma, who ended up actually being a Jet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was kind of twofold because he was a King and a Jet, and he linebacker.
Okay.
He was great. Had some good moments with the Jets. I was kind of, I was mad when they traded him. I think they traded him to New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, but honestly, my favorite all-time King is probably Sean Taylor, R.I.P.
Yeah.
That guy could hit, man. That that,
Yeah.
that guy was a man amongst boys, man.
For sure.
And for the people that didn't really watch him during college, all those hits he had in the NFL, he was doing that in college.
Yeah.
Like he just loved to hit people
He
for
was a
for
beast.
whatever reason,
Yeah.
and he was a beast. And I don't think there was anyone like him, to be quite honest.
What about
And it was a shame what happened.
yeah, for sure. Rest in peace. What about Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Michael Irvin?
Well, so a little before my time,
Uh-huh.
because when they were well, more so Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was at the U like early '90s, so I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. Ed Reed was on the end of the '90s team, so Ed Reed was another favorite player.
Beast. The
Yeah.
list goes on and on. Andre Johnson, Clinton
Oh yeah.
Portis,
Jeremy
Willis McGahee,
Shockey.
Jeremy Shockey.
Jeremy Shockey.
Big win versus Notre Dame this past weekend, right? How impressive was that?
Yes, 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 yes. It was nice. I think we won two in a row. Because we played them about 4 or 5 years ago. We beat them then, and this one was a little closer, obviously, but
Right.
still a win nonetheless. So that was good to get off on the right foot.
How far is the Ohio State going to go this year? They got a good chance to repeating, running it back.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to always be in the mix, so I don't see why not. They always seem to have a good recruiting class, and you know, they're always up there in the polls, and being the defending champs. Like I said, I don't see why they can't repeat.
Right. What do you make of Archie Manning? What would you tell Archie Manning after that brutal start he had in game one? It's only one game, right?
I'll be honest, I don't know enough about him. I mean,
Yeah.
I know obviously I know he's related to Eli and
Peyton.
Peyton, but
Right.
that's honestly the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't really follow much college football like I used to. When I do, it's pretty much just the Canes.
Yeah.
But I did hear he had a kind of like a rough go of it on Saturday. Maybe he bounces back. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
It's only one game. People are making a lot
yeah.
of hype about it. And, this
The,
last name,
the,
if he was anybody else, would be no big deal. But he's a
Well,
Manning, right?
the
So
problem with college football is that one game, can make or break your season right there.
could. Yeah.
That one game could cost you a shot at the playoffs. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's got the Manning the name, so he has a lot to live up to, and I'm sure that has something to do with it. It's a lot of pressure on him,
Yeah.
especially playing at a big time school,
Mhm.
a school that hasn't won in quite a bit, and yeah, I mean he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders to perform.
What do you make about the NIL? You like it, hate it for college sports?
It's changed college sports for sure. I think I I I think overall it's good, but these kids are making way more money now than they ever did.
Yeah.
And it tends to get you in trouble sometimes. So because
Yeah.
you're making all this money and don't know really what to do with it. Don't know how to control your money, or you let bad influences in your life because of the money. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a double-edged sword.
You got to be careful for sure.
Yeah, for
For
sure,
sure.
for sure. Um, you know, being in college, especially if you're an athlete, you don't necessarily have time to go out and find a job because all your time is dedicated to the sports. So
Yeah.
I can understand wanting to make money. I get that aspect of it. So
So now you're in Florida, 2015. It's crazy. The last time the Mets won a World Series versus the Royals, man.
yeah, yeah,
I really can't believe it's been 10 years since you've been down
yeah.
here already.
Well, it goes back to my point I made earlier about how
Yeah.
quick time flies when you get older. Because
Yeah.
I can't believe I've been down here 10 years already. So it's been a
S-
ride.
Thoughts on the current Met team? This roller coaster. You sweep the Phillies, then you just look like you lose a series to the Marlins. I mean, you
I
can't
I
make this
can't
stuff up, right?
I can't figure this team out. They look so good against good teams
Yeah.
like the Phillies. They sweep the Phillies. They've won 10 straight against Philadelphia in Citi Field, and then they let the Marlins come in and win 3 out of 4. And it's yeah, the Marlins are a gritty team, but I mean they're a JV team. They're
Mhm.
more than half their roster are rookies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, but it's just inexcusable for them to let them walk in there and roll over them like that, especially coming off that series against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty of the season, and every game counts at this point. And to give 3 games away like that,
Yeah.
it's it's not like I said, it's just inexcusable.
I mean, they did sweep us as well. The Yankees have swept my Yankees. So this Philly, this Marlin team, they're like you said, nitty gritty. They fight, they scrappy, and they're just not going to quit. They're just going to keep on coming.
No, and they're not a bad team, but they're a team the Mets should beat.
Yeah,
Is
for
the
sure.
bottom line. And they always seem to have trouble with the Marlins for whatever reason.
Remember your first? You
Um,
remember your first Met game going to Shea? You remember that
I
first
do,
game?
yeah. Yeah. Todd Hundley hit a grand slam.
Todd Hundley, man, oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
Todd Hundley grand slam. What do you miss about Shea, man? It's your dump, right?
It's hard dump. Um, I just for whatever reason, Shea just seemed like it got louder than City Field is. I don't know. I just found
Really?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
City gets loud, but for whatever reason, maybe the design of stadium, I don't know, but it just seemed like Shea was a lot louder. Um, and then also, it also held more people. So
What do you think? What are your thoughts on City Field, though? Great food, great ballpark, right? Overall.
I like it. Yeah, it's a nice ballpark. I like how they kind of incorporated the Dodgers, history
Yeah.
along with the Mets history. Because the Dodgers, they have obviously history in New York. Being from Brooklyn and at the time, the Wilpons wanted to honor that history. So I'm all for it. The Mets get their colors, at least half of the colors, the blue colors from the Dodgers, so it made
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
And it is a nice ballpark,
Sure.
and
Great.
the food is good.
Yeah, the food is amazing.
Yeah.
Wilpons versus the Cohens. Thoughts on them? What's the major difference between those two?
Oh well, I mean, it's kind of night and day. Then Steve's willing to spend money. Obviously with the contract he gave Soto, 765 million, amongst others. He generally seems to care about the team and the fans. He wants to win. I think he's been there. I think this is his fifth year now. They haven't won yet, but we're on the right track. Coming within 2 games of the World Series last year, and hopefully this year making it further.
Yeah.
Um, well, like I said, we have 20 something games left to go, and we'll see what happens between now and then.
Have they made the right moves this season, bringing in certain players, competing? You think trade
Um,
deadline?
well, so I mean, as far as the trade deadline deals, I mean, this guy Helsley was supposed to be top notch reliever, and he comes here and he hasn't been top notch reliever. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, he hasn't been getting it done. Greg Soto's been okay, um, but for whatever reason, Helsley's struggling. I like the Cedric Mullins move. It gives him a decent bat in the lineup, and he's a solid center fielder.
Yeah.
Um, so overall, I think they made some good moves. Off season and trade deadline, but their pitching, which was their strong point early on in the season, has been absolute dog shit the last you know 2 months.
Manaya and Senga. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manaea and Senga, that nobody could get out of the fourth inning.
Yeah.
They're 100 pitches through 4 innings, walking everybody. It's I don't know what happened.
Juan Soto having a good, bad, meh of a season. You think you expect more out of him this season so far?
So it's funny you bring him up. Lately he's been killing it. Obviously he hit a grand slam yesterday, 6 RBIs. He's finally seems to be hitting in the clutch. Yesterday's grand slam was the first home run he's hit all year with more than one person on base, if you can imagine that.
It's like
And,
solo
and
shots. Yeah.
the guy has 36 home runs,
Yeah.
and yeah, most of them have been solo shots, or one on. So the fact that he's been coming up in the clutch situations and getting it done
Right.
recently is a good sign. I think overall, as far as his season, honestly, it's on paper, it's a great season.
Right.
He's gonna hit 40 home runs. He's gonna drive in 100, 110 RBI. He gets on base a lot. He's got over 100 walks. His average is down, but uh, no one cares about average anymore. Apparently, don't get me started, please. Stupid, stupid
Analytics. Yeah.
OPS, whatever,
On base
whatever.
percentage. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? It's just, his spin rate, his WAR, whatever made up stat you want to call it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, I think he is having a good season. But if the Mets do make it to the World Series and perhaps win one, he has to continue what he's doing these past couple weeks into the playoffs. If he has a bad postseason, they're not going to make it far.
Fans are going to say, well, he should be doing a whole lot more, better defense, stop hot dogging it because he's making all this money. It's always going to
Well,
come down to that. A lot of pressure, right?
I agree with that. I mean,
Mhm.
I've seen it enough times where yeah, he hot dogs 100%, and I don't
Mhm.
like it. I know a lot of fans don't like it, but quite frankly, I don't think he cares what we think.
Right.
He's
He's
got.
his man. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it just sucks to see because he is making a lot of money. He should be a leader of the team, and leaders should be hustling,
Yeah.
on every play.
Yeah.
Even if you hit a weak ground ball to second base,
Run it out.
I still want to see you run it out. You never
Right.
know what's going to happen.
Right. You never know. Yeah.
That's just old school baseball. That's how I was taught to play, and
Hmm.
that's just how it should be. But it is what it is.
Alonso, Met for life. What do you thoughts on Pete Alonso?
I hope he is. You and I discussed this. Well, honestly, the only guy that comes to mind, who was a Met for life in my lifetime, and is obviously David Wright.
Yeah.
We never truly had that one homegrown guy that was a Met his entire career. David Wright's one of them, but his career was kind of cut short by injuries. But Pete has a chance to be that guy.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Yankees have a history of guys like that, and meanwhile the Mets, they get. I mean, we're talking about a franchise that traded Tom Seaver, their best player in franchise history.
Right.
All right. They traded Darrow, they traded Doc, all these guys that were a big part of their '86 team and beyond, and they were traded away. And so we never had that guy that was a consistent Met that was Met for the long term. And I would love to see Met retire as a Met. I'm sorry, I would love to see Pete retire as a Met.
Right.
It's up in the air whether it happens or not, but I'd be okay with that.
Most home runs in Met history as well too.
Yeah,
Passing Darryl Strawberry. Pretty cool. Pretty
absolutely,
cool deal.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are kind of like downplaying that record, and it's a team record. It is a nice record. Don't get me wrong. And in the long scheme of things, it doesn't really mean a lot, but
Right.
it means a lot to Met fans.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes back to that we never really had a guy come up through our farm system and be a Met for life. So the fact that he's doing it's
Yeah.
a big deal in that aspect. But at the end of the day, what matters is winning and winning in the postseason.
Where do you see the Mets ending up this season? How far can they go?
As far as Pete and Juan and Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor could take them.
Core four. The core four, huh?
Yeah. I don't know about this pitching staff. I mean, first of all, Nolan McLean's a stud. He's first pitcher in Mets history to win his first 3 games, and he's actually pitching pretty decently tonight too. But everyone else. I mean, Peterson. He was our number one starter. He's been hit or miss lately. He's had a couple bad starts, and obviously Senga and Mania have been falling short. So with this pitching staff, it's really hard to gauge,
Yeah.
because as you know in the playoffs, you got to hit and you got to pitch, and if you don't have all those in line with each other, it's hard to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because in the playoffs, you're not playing bad teams.
Yeah. Everything gets
So
tight. Everything
yeah,
means a whole lot more. What would you
yeah.
change about the lineup? Would you tweak the lineup a little bit? The batting lineup, pitching lineup? What would you tweak
I
about it?
wouldn't. I wouldn't change the lineup. They're scoring the most runs. They put double digit runs up, and quite a bit in the last couple weeks.
Right.
I read a stat, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but the Mets had their best month in franchise history in terms of average RBIs, hitting with runners in scoring position, home runs. Remember, their best month ever in franchise
Ever.
history.
Wow.
Their record was 11-17.
Jesus.
11 and
Man.
17
With
in their
everything.
best
Yeah.
offensive month in franchise history.
Wow. What does that tell you?
I don't think the offense is a problem. It's pitching.
Pitching, yeah.
They blew multiple 5-run lead, 6-run lead. No lead feels safe. They were, I think it was the Braves last week. They were up 12-2. The final score is 12-7. I mean, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're up 10 runs, and I got to sweat it out. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Obviously the fan of me you know, I want them to win. Obviously, I want them to win a World Series. But
For
the way
sure.
they're pitching, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The Mets are like my golf game. They can never get all aspects of the game
Down
going
pack.
at the same
Yeah.
time.
Right.
The Mets start hitting, they can't pitch. The
Right.
Mets can pitch, they can't hit.
Yeah.
They can hit, but they can't field.
Yeah. It's one of the two, right?
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Best Met team roster of all time. Who you got?
Oh, it's a good one. Well, when you say all time, you're talking about in my lifetime, correct?
Yeah, your lifetime. Yeah, your lifetime.
I honestly, I'd have to say the '06 team.
06. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That team should have won the World Series. Um, you know, they fell short in '06. '07, they blew that 7-game lead with 17 games to go. And they happened to lose against the Marlins. Go figure.
Yeah.
Those 2 years, they blew a huge opportunity. Getting back to the 2006 team, I was at the MD Chavez game 7 against.
Made that catch, right? Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
at that game. I was field level, right behind the first base dugout,
Right.
and Oliver Perez was on the mound, and I just remember, I just remember Scott Rowland hitting that ball,
Yeah.
and you could hear a pin drop in Shea Stadium.
Right.
And I thought, I'm like, this is it, we're done.
Yeah.
But it's a home run, and then that's it. And when Andy Chavez came down with that ball, I can't even describe to you what happened in that stadium. That I felt that
Pandemonium.
stadium shake.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been to Shea Stadium, you know that stadium shook.
Yeah.
And it shook like it never shook before after
Right.
that catch.
Yeah.
And then he doubles up. I think it was Edmonds. It doubles up Jim Edmonds. And right then and there, I was like, we're going to the fucking World Series.
Yeah.
And I was however old I was, 13, 14 years old, and I was like, yeah, we're going to the World Series.
Yeah.
And what happened in the bottom of the ninth, it is what it is.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Met of all time? Who do you got?
Mike Piazza.
Really,
Yeah.
Mike? Huh?
Yeah. My number playing baseball in high school was 31.
Because of him.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had some big home runs for the Mets. Obviously not a homegrown Met, but still, he was my favorite Met.
How much do you sports hate the Braves, Phillies, Yankees? Which one of those teams you despise the most?
Well, so there's kind of levels to that. So like growing up, it was always the Braves, right?
Yeah.
That team
Chipper Jones.
was always, yes, they were thorn in the Mets side always.
Right.
We could never win in Turner Field ever.
Yeah.
It was just for whatever reason that the Mets just went there to die for whatever reason. I don't know. And with that pitching staff, Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, Kevin Millwood, they just always seem to have our number. And then obviously Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones.
Bobby
They would
Cox,
always
great manager.
Oh yeah, Freddie Freeman. That's
Freddie Freeman.
not as far back as those late '90 teams, but
right.
Freddie Freeman. These guys are all Mets killers, all of them. Julio Franco, all these guys, Met killers, certified Met killers.
Yeah.
And so when I was younger, obviously my answer would probably be Rays. Now it's the Phillies. I can't stand anything Philadelphia. I'm sorry, Ken. I can't. I got nothing nice to say about anything Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they feel the same way about New York, so it kind of evens out.
Feelings mutual, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's it's all good. So I would say now in this present time frame, it's the Phillies because the Phillies won the division. They're leading the division. They've had some success. Obviously, they won the World Series in 2009.
Yeah.
Sorry, not 2009. 2010.
2010. Yep.
So they've. I mean, I was gonna say recent. Granted, 2009 is not necessarily recent, but still more recent than the Mets.
Yeah.
So I think now it's the Phillies. I don't. Contrary to probably, I don't hate the Yankees.
Okay.
I rooted for the Yankees when they played the Phillies in the World Series
You
in
did. I
'09.
remember that.
Yeah,
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 we went to that
100%.
parade. We went to that parade.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, we went to that parade.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, that's how much I hate Philadelphia. Um, so I don't hate the Yankees. Some Met fans do. It's their prerogative.
Right,
I don't go out of my way to root for them, but
right.
so
Who's the big brother in town? Who's still the big brother in town? Yankees, Mets, Juan Soto.
uh, I mean, come on, it's not even a debate. I mean, the big brothers are going to be the Yankees. I mean, just because
Right,
they're the Yankees, and
right.
as I'm always reminded, 27 World Series, or 28 World Series, whatever the number is. Um, the Mets. The Mets obviously aren't going to catch that, but the Mets need to win something. If
Yeah.
they do, then maybe it changes a bit. But for now, it's still the Yankees.
27 World Championships, chasing 28 right now. The Mets win a World Series in your lifetime? What do you think, man?
If it if it doesn't happen while Steve Cohen owns a team, then probably not. um, I mean, listen, at some point they have to, right?
Yeah,
You would think. Um, I would love to see it. Obviously, I was
sure.
86 was a little before my time, so they haven't won in my lifetime since I've been alive. Um, I was 3 years before I was born. To date myself. Um, I think they can.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it's
Yeah.
this year. You know.
That's good, man. That's good. So you're coming down here in a couple of weeks, week
Yeah.
after City Field versus Team Shea.
Yeah.
Old timers, old
Yeah.
versus new. How cool is that, man? It's a pretty good concept.
It is. It's actually a really cool concept. Kind of bringing back players that I grew up watching and that I rooted for.
Yeah.
Mike Piazza being one of them. And it's kind of an old school versus the new school, old timers, if you will.
Right.
So I think it's a really really neat concept, and I'm looking forward to it. And what's crazy is they're playing the Rangers, and Jacob deGrom's going to be there, but obviously playing for the Rangers.
How ironic, right?
I just hope he doesn't start that game. That's all.
Man, let's see what happens to the Mets, man. We'll see. Mets and Yankees, man. It's unbelievable about sports here. Jets fan expectations. How many games you got the Jets winning this season, and how did you become a Jet fan? How did that work? Become all about?
How did I become a Jet fan? So,
Yeah,
well, growing up, the Jets were actually good when I was younger. Like late '90s, early 2000s. They were in the playoffs. Testaverde, Keyshawn. That whole thing. So they were always on TV, but they were in the playoffs. So I started
right.
watching them, and my favorite color happens to be green. So it's like, oh, green, I like the green.
Yeah,
And my uncle was a Jets fan, and he would always have the game on. So I kind of just watched grew up watching the Jets, and I kind of just fell in love with them, I guess.
right.
I wish I hadn't, but whatever. It's already too late at this point.
Yeah,
Um, you know, so I don't know. My expectations.
yeah.
Uh, my over under as far as wins, 6.5.
6.5. Okay.
Yeah. I I don't have much expectations, honestly. I'm just hoping that they hired the right coach this time.
Yeah.
Um,
Aaron Glenn,
and
former player, but he's he
yeah.
the right guy, right fit?
So from what I've heard and seen, although I'll be honest, I haven't watched a down of preseason, which I never do anyway.
Yeah.
But from what I heard and I've been listening to on the radio, it seems like they did get the right guy, and maybe they
Okay.
did hire the right guy this time. Time will tell. We'll see how he does once the regular season starts. Which to me, if they hired the right guy, then okay, then I'll be okay.
Right.
Um, but you know, if they go out there and they lay eggs the way they've been laying eggs for the past 15 years, then you know that's just going to be another rinse and repeat situation.
Yeah.
So my expectations are I have zero expectations. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team.
Okay.
You know, I really don't. I see them maybe winning 7 games, 7-10. But again, if they win, if they go 7-10, but they're in all the games, I can live with that.
Right.
You know, if they have 5 wins and they're getting blown out 20, 30 points by 20, 30 points a game, then you know,
What's the point?
and then
Yeah.
it's just the same old
Same old
shit we
Jets.
dealt with last year and the
Right.
year before that and the year before
Right.
that. It's been a coaching carousel ever since Rex. So you know, having faith that they actually got it right is tough
Yeah.
considering their track record. But maybe, but from like I said, from what I hear, it seems that they did get it right this time.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe things look up.
Favorite Jet game in recent memory? Best Jet game you ever been to, or maybe watched on TV in recent
Oh,
memory?
that's a tough one because there hasn't been many good moments, especially the last 10 years or so.
You beat my Eagles last couple of seasons. You kind of held them down.
The one
Rob
game, yeah, that was
Saleh,
that, that was
yeah,
that was the first time they beat the Eagles ever,
yeah.
actually. Uh,
What's your take on Rob Saleh? Got the raw deal? Should he have been fired during the season or maybe after the season? Good
I
coach,
mean,
not a good
honestly,
coach.
I had high hopes for him when they hired him, but kind of throughout his tenure, kind of just showed that the lights were too bright for him. Not a bad guy, just I don't think obviously he wasn't the right fit.
Right.
I would have held off on firing him because they fired him and they went to Jeff Ulbrich, who is even more unmatched,
Yeah.
if that's even possible. And we saw how that turned out. They fired him after that London game.
Yeah.
I would have fired him for sure last year, but if it was me, I probably would have waited until later on in the year, if not after the season was over.
Right.
But either way, he was gone.
Any advice for Woody Johnson? What would you tell Woody Johnson if you had a
Sell the
one-on-one
team.
meeting?
Sell
Yeah.
the team. Yeah, listen. A lot of fans don't want to have this conversation, and this includes Cowboys fans. There's a common denominator, all right,
Mhm.
for the last however many years, right? For the Jets, it's who? Woody Johnson, right? They have won nothing since he's been the owner. Cowboys, same thing.
Jerry,
Jimmy, did
30
I say
years.
Jimmy Johnson? I said Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
he's been a common denominator. So they don't want to admit this fact, but Jerry Jones has been a common denominator for 30 plus years,
Yeah.
and they haven't won anything. So both teams are in the same spot.
Yeah.
I don't think they're ever, I don't. This is just me. I'm probably gonna get shit for this. I don't think the Jets are winning anything with Woody Johnson as the owner of the team. I don't see it. He's an incompetent owner. He needs to sell a team. He's not going to sell a team. I understand that. But that would be my advice to him. It's that plain and simple.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where I'm apathetic about this team. That's where I'm at. And for myself and other fans of this team that are at this point, that's a very dangerous spot to be in because it means we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me not to care, that's bad.
Yeah, and you see
And
other
I
teams
can't be
doing
the
really
only one.
well on the
I
East
can't be
Coast.
the only one.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles are really good, Commanders are really good, Giants are getting better. Why can't the Jets get better, right? I mean, why?
Yeah, you would think,
Right.
but they constantly hire the wrong coach. They constantly draft the wrong quarterback. Constantly drafting the wrong players. They're the most penalized team. It seems like they
Yeah.
make stupid penalties, and all that's coaching and comes from up above.
Right.
Woody Johnson was off, got doing God knows what in London for during Trump's first presidency, not caring about a team, giving the reins to Christopher Johnson, who didn't do much better.
Right.
I mean, so the track record's there.
Right.
A lot of fans don't want to hear it, but that's the bottom fucking line.
Yeah.
It is,
Sell it. Sell the
and
team.
with the Mets, I have faith that they might actually win. I don't have that same faith in the Jets because they've shown me in the last 15 years that they can't do it.
Yeah. Coming off those two really good seasons with Rex and Mark Sanchez,
Yeah.
09, 2010. After that, it just kind of
Yeah.
went downhill from there.
And we haven't come close since.
Yeah.
We haven't come
Nothing at
close
all.
since.
Yeah.
We've lost big game after big game, because there were some moments where we were in the playoff hunt and we needed to win a game two or there, and we make the playoffs and they lose the games.
Mhm.
Um, you know, um, I I don't
To be
I
determined.
don't. It is, yeah.
What's your take on Justin Fields? Can he bounce back his career, get this thing on track?
It's gonna be tough. Yes, to answer your question, he can bounce back.
Mhm.
But kind of getting back to what I'm just talking about, the Jets haven't won in a while. They haven't had a good QB in a while. And for him to come in and fill that void, that is a tough spot to be in for him.
Yeah.
Especially the way it ended in Chicago and then last year in Pittsburgh, kind of losing the job to Russell Wilson.
Mhm.
So he's in a tough spot. This is New York, it's kind of win or go home,
Yeah.
and they haven't been doing much winning lately. Um, it's not impossible for him to turn around. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Game by game.
Zach Wilson. Thoughts on him? Why didn't it work out for him in New York?
I had such high hopes for him. I'll be honest.
I think a lot of Jet fans had high hopes, right? Here comes this big kid, BYU,
Yes.
smart kid. Let's go, strap him up, put a rocket on him, see what he can do, and it's just kind of just didn't work out.
I I was a Zach Wilson apologist for the first few years, and
You
then
defended him.
just
You defended him.
I
Defended him. He's
did,
gonna get
and
better.
then I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
a point where I couldn't do it anymore. The
Yeah.
guy just couldn't play quarterback. He couldn't. He showed some spurts where he would make an amazing throw, and you're like, damn, like this is the potential we saw in him.
Right.
This is why we drafted him. And then he couldn't complete a 5 yard button hook
Yeah.
pass or a screen pass, and it's like he would throw the ball at the receiver's feet on a
Yeah.
screen pass,
You're like, what are you doing?
and it was frustrating. You know, they went how many games in a row without scoring a touchdown, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They just didn't score points.
Yeah.
Um, the game last year, was it last year? There was a Patriot game. They lost off a punt return touchdown, a walk off punt return touchdown because
Mhm.
they couldn't fucking score on offense. It's like,
What are you doing?
it's just, bro, like he was awful as a Jets quarterback.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. And once you're that bad a quarterback, quarterback's pretty much the heart and soul of the team.
yeah, I
You
mean,
can't get it going. These guys don't feed off of that energy, and it's kind of like, here we go again. Time to go.
100%. And
Yeah.
I think it was another one where the bright lights in New York were too much.
Right.
A kid from Utah. Obviously young kid, in the limelight, for the first time, and it happens to be in New York, and New York's a tough place to play.
It is. It is.
Northeast, New York, Boston, Philadelphia, tough places to play, and if you don't perform up to the level that is expected of you, you're kind of out,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I was at I was at a game last year, or it might have been the year before. It's all a blur at this point.
Right.
In the pouring rain against the Pats, and I think they scored like 6 points, whatever, and it was a defensive struggle all game, and they ended up losing. And I'm like, they had their chances to score, and they just couldn't score. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I literally sat in the pouring rain to watch this garbage football. Like yeah.
That's what us fans do, man. Heart and soul. We pour everything, give it get to this team, and it's just like in the end, it's kind of like we suffer, right?
Yeah.
Just sitting there getting rained on.
I
It's
mean,
just
the players aren't suffering. They're cashing their checks.
yeah,
Listen, granted, I know no one likes losing. I'm not saying they're happy with losing, but
right.
at the end of the day, we're all sitting here pissed off as fans. They don't
Mhm.
care about us. They're
No.
they're making their money.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
So
Week 1 versus the Steelers. How do you see this one playing out?
um,
You think Rodgers is going to be up for this game?
yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking at an all-in-one situation for the Jets. I think the Steelers are going to win the game. I think Rodgers, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
I think it'll be a close game. I don't think the Jets get blown out, but I do think the Steelers end up winning. And like I said, I think Rodgers has his revenge tour
What do you make about
out
him?
sorts.
It didn't really pan out in New York for Aaron Rodgers. Why is that? Was it him? Was it the Jets? Was it a
You know
multiple
what?
things?
I who in all of his interviews, whether he's just saying it or not, I don't know. But it seems like he actually put effort into being with the Jets.
Yeah.
He actually bought into the Jets. He tried his best to rehab through the injury. So I can't necessarily I can't get mad at it.
Right.
It sucks the injury happened in year one. I was pumped up. I wasn't one of those Jet fans that was like, "Oh, we're winning the Super Bowl," but I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, at least we'll finally make the playoffs, and at least we'll play meaningful games in December and early January.
Right.
The season's not going to be over in October."
Yeah.
And listen, once he went down, that was it. I know ended up winning that game, um, but once he went down, that was it.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson had to come back in, and that was the end of that. And he comes back last year, and he got better as the year went on, but the team just wasn't good.
Right.
They lost their coach. They had another coach, like I said, that was in over his head, Ulbrich, and it was time to move on from him. And
Yeah.
it seems like like I said, it seems like he gave his all to the team, and I can appreciate that.
Right.
He was at the Knicks games, at the Rangers games. He kind of embraced the New York, you know, um,
Culture and being out
culture.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like he tried. I feel like he really wanted it to work, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Um, well, like I said, I fully expect him to have a good game on Sunday, though. I'd be surprised if the Jets win the game, but we'll see.
Rex Ryan, Mark Sanchez. How do you remember those guys?
Uh, I have good memories of them. They obviously two back-to-back AFC titles, AFC title games
Yeah.
in '09 and 2010. Um, the it's crazy. Mark Sanchez, believe it or not, has the most postseason wins in franchise history.
In Jet history. Crazy,
Yeah,
right? We talking
yeah,
about that. It's nuts when
yeah,
you think about it.
yeah. It's not that the Jets ever had like a murderer's row of QBs,
Yeah.
but you would think someone other than Mark Sanchez. No, Mark Sanchez,
Yeah.
with 4 playoff victories, they were all on the road. Um, so he had some really good moments in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And obviously we fell just short twice. Um, and who knew that was peak Jets at the time?
Yeah.
I thought they'd be able to piggyback off of that and maybe get themselves over the hump, and it's been the opposite ever since.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't sniffed a playoff spot in 15 years.
Yeah.
Um, the one year they were close, and I think they ended up losing the last game of the season or the last 2 games of the season, whatever it was, and that was the closest we've gotten to the playoffs in 15 years.
How many times have you watched or seen the butt fumble play? Oh, since it happened.
So I'm gonna get shit for this one too. But, I did not see that play live.
Really?
No.
That was Thanksgiving night play. Where were you in
Yes,
Thanksgiving?
yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so and I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Yeah.
So there was a reason I didn't watch it live, and it was because it was a Thanksgiving game, and they were playing the Patriots.
Okay.
And I knew how the game was going to go. I knew they were going to lose the Patriots, and I'm like, I don't want to sit here on Thanksgiving and have my holiday ruined watching this team. And,
Right.
and that's the God's honest truth.
Right.
So I turned it on at halftime.
Right.
Turn it on at halftime. I think it was 35-7. I think that was the score.
You're like,
and I was like, oh, I didn't miss anything because in my head I already knew what was going to happen. And then I started getting the text messages about the butt fumble. Listen, like, what the hell are they talking about? And then I saw the replay and I saw the low light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like that was my reaction.
How does that
And
even happen, right?
like
Yeah.
I knew the game was gonna be bad. I
Right.
didn't think it was gonna be that. And then now this is a true story.
Yeah.
To top it all off,
Yeah.
the guy who returned the touchdown, Stephen Gregory, is a cousin of mine.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Man, oh man, oh man.
So yeah, so the Jets got embarrassed, and a family member of mine returned a touchdown from the butt fumble. Yeah, so
That's a
that was a
nice
great
little
Thanksgiving.
story.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, oh man.
yeah,
That's crazy. The butt
yeah,
fumble.
yeah.
Who's
And now every time I see it,
yeah.
it's like the Louis Castillo drop pop up. It's
Alex
done the same to
Rodriguez?
me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I
yeah,
just
yeah.
I don't want to fucking see it because every time I do, I
Yeah,
get pissed off and I'm like enough already. Like I get
yeah,
it. I don't need to
yeah.
see it, and
Right.
they always show it during a game. It has nothing to do with the
Right.
game.
Holiday
Oh yeah,
season or
here's
whatever. Yeah.
Mark Sanchez in the butt fumble. Like
Right.
come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Let it go.
I've seen it enough times.
100%. 100%. Who's your favorite Jet of all time? Who's your favorite Jet?
Curtis Martin.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, there's some good Jets over the years, though, right?
Even though he was a Patriot, but he
Yeah.
came over and he was great running back for us.
I think you were
Yeah,
going
we
maybe
have some good players,
Revis,
man.
Revis Testaverde,
Revis, Testaverde. I mentioned Jonathan Vilmer earlier.
Jonathan Vilma. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And he was up there, because he played for the Canes too. So I was happy they drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Corbett was another good one.
Corbett was always good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we had some solid teams. Chad Pennington.
Chad was good. Chad was good.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, those teams back in the day when they were winning, they were pretty solid. Defense, offense,
Yeah,
they were pretty
yeah,
solid, man. Pretty solid.
yeah.
Um, Brady hunted you guys for 20 years, man. How much did you sports hate Tom Brady? How brutal was that? Or you
So
respect him when you look back now, you're like, I respect this guy.
well, so now looking at it from a more mature adult perspective,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he as the kids say, he was the GOAT. I respect the hell out of him. Sucks to say that, but no, I do. At the time, I couldn't stand him or Belichick. But what they did on the football field it probably won't ever happen again. I mean, I doubt it'll happen again. I mean, the guy's been to 10 Super Bowls, won 6 of them, or 7, whatever the number is.
7, yeah, 7.
And he won one with another team. So it's amazing. What he's done over the past 20, 25 years, and you know, since he retired, every Jet fan kind of breathed a sigh of relief. They're like, like now, maybe we can win a division. And in typical Jet fashion, they have done the complete opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wide open. Now you got Josh Allen to
The,
deal
the,
with,
the
right?
division was wide open for anyone to take, and the Jets haven't even come close. So,
What do you make about the Buffalo Bills and the Dolphins? What's their ceiling?
the Bills. So, the Bills are tough, man, because especially the last 3-4 years. I mean, they're a lot of people's picks to make it and possibly win the Super Bowl. They have the talent, they have the team, they have the quarterback, and they just can't get over the hump for whatever reason. They just fall short. They won a division 3-4 years in a row, and they just, for whatever reason, they just can't win that big game.
Right.
I fully expect them to be a good team again this year and probably win the division. But they got to prove it in the playoffs, and so far they haven't. So they're a tough team to figure out.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. So it's funny. I never really understood the plight of the Dolphins fan until I moved down here. And after observing this team for the last 10 years, the Dolphins and the Jets are the same team. They really are.
Frustration, right? Just frustrates you
Yeah,
every
it's
year.
just, when they're bad, they're bad. Some seasons they're bad, but they're not bad enough for a top pick.
Right.
And then they have the seasons where like they're good, but they maybe just miss the playoffs. or they make the playoffs and they lose in the first round.
Right.
So that they have a very similar trajectory as the Jets. So it's kind of funny. I never like realized it until now.
Yeah.
Um, so as far as the Dolphins, they're another tough one to read because I don't necessarily think Tua is the answer. But their backup is none other than Zach Wilson. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
We'll figure
yeah.
that. What would you tell Tua about running quarterback? What would you tell Tua, man? Seems like one more hit and he's pretty much done his career.
The guys had two concussions. That famous, where he was like this.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, he's got to not get hit like that. Especially if he wants to keep playing. Honestly, I thought he should have retired after that one vicious hit where he had the concussion.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you gotta think about it. Like, yeah, I want to go out there, I want to play, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And 10 years from now, when if he's suffered all these concussions and he can't walk because of those concussions, like, what did you really accomplish?
Right.
You know?
100%, man. And the
Um,
AFC is pretty stacked too, right? I mean, look at all those quarterbacks, right? You got Burrow,
yeah,
you got Lamar, you got Mahomes, you got Allen.
yeah.
Who do you see coming out of the AFC East this year?
The AFC East.
Yeah, who do you see coming out of it? A lot of
Well,
pressure, a
like
lot
I
of
said,
pressure, a lot of
I
pressure on
think.
Burrow and Lamar and Allen.
Yeah, who do I see coming out of the AFC East, or who do I
Yeah.
see coming out of the AFC?
Let's go AFC East. Who comes out
Uh,
of it?
well, I think the Bills are going to win the division.
Okay.
So yeah. Um, you know, I don't know about the Patriots. We'll see what happens. First year head coach. They got Drake May. So the other three spots, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. That's kind of a toss up. But
Yeah.
the Bills should win that division
Right.
going away. And then maybe one of those teams makes the wild card, but I'm pretty sure one of those teams won't be the Jets.
Mhm.
But we'll see what happens with that. But the AFC is tough, like you said. You got a bunch of quarterbacks: Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good teams out there with good solid quarterbacks that could make a run.
What's your Super Bowl predictions today? Who do you got coming out of
Oh, that's
AFC,
early,
NFC?
man.
Well, the season
Um,
starts in 2 days.
I know. Yeah, but I mean,
Throw it out there. So throw it out there.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Philadelphia could potentially, repeat again, or not repeat again, but you know what I mean. They
Yeah.
could,
Go back to the
they
big
could make it
dance.
back.
Yeah.
Um, I want to see the Ravens take that next step with Lamar. I would, I would love to see that. Lamar's a great quarterback. He's athletic. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But he's another one that kind of doesn't show up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Um,
There's opportune times. He throws a
yeah,
pick, he fumbles.
yep,
It's weird, man. It's weird. Him, Allen, and Burrow, they're
yeah,
all right there, but they just can never beat
yep,
Mahomes. I don't know what it
yep.
is, man. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. Mahomes got that magic. Well, not last year, but Mahomes had that magic before
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe the Ravens take a step forward and Lamar, gets his Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
So I guess to answer your question, I'm gonna probably be way off, but let's Ravens and Eagles. Why not?
Ravens, Eagles. All right. That's fair. That's fair. How surprised were you though by the Eagles just like mollywopped the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? Were you surprised by that game, the outcome? How
Yes,
surprised were you?
yes. I was actually watching it. I was in Colorado,
Okay.
and I was watching it. And I think I fell asleep during it. That's how boring the game was. I'm sure it wasn't
At
boring for you. I'm
halftime, it wasn't
sure.
boring for me. No,
No,
I was loving it. I was
sure
loving it.
I'm sure
But
you were
still at
loving it.
34-0 at the I'm like, the Chiefs are gonna come back. There's no way they're gonna come back. In my head, I'm like, they're gonna come back. They're gonna come back.
Yeah.
But just never happened.
I mean, like I said, for you guys, that was awesome for you guys. But
Yeah.
for us non Eagles fans, that was a boring game. I mean, it was over at halftime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of fell asleep. You know, I was like, damn, I can't even keep my eyes open right now. That's how boring this game is.
What would you do if the Jets won a Super Bowl in your lifetime, man? What would you
Oh
do?
my god,
Is
I'd
that a
lose my mind.
is that a one off? That's it, right? I mean,
I
that's
would
it.
lose my I would lose my mind. I, who knows? Yeah, yeah. I would go wild if they ever won. Yeah.
What would it mean more
Um,
to you, a Jet winning a Super Bowl or the Mets winning a World Series? Which one
no,
would mean more to you?
Mets World Series.
Mets World Series.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They were the Mets were the first team I like really started rooting for.
Right.
So they were like my first love of sports, if you will. So for them to be the first of my teams to win would be special.
Right.
I mean, obviously at this point, I just want one of them to win.
Right.
Um, so, but you know, the Mets would be the one I'd want to see most,
Right.
or first. You know, because you know, between the Mets, Jets, and Rangers, I mean, only one of those teams have won in my lifetime. But you know, I can't sit here and tell you that saw a Rangers championship because I was 5 years old, so I didn't understand sports.
That was '94. I was loving
Well,
that, man.
4 years old,
I
five
was
years
in
old.
I was in eighth
Yeah.
grade, man. That was
So I
awesome.
don't count that one, but I was
Right.
alive for it. I was alive
Right.
for it. The other two, you know, 3 years and then 20 years before I was born with the Jets, which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's about time one of them won. Um, I really don't care who it is at this point.
Right.
But you know, if it hopefully if it's the Mets, then that
Great.
would, yeah.
Yeah.
And they could be the first one because they're right now they're in a playoff spot and they're as long as the next 20 games go the right way, they
Right.
should make the playoffs.
For sure. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. You're a known golfer, right? You've been playing 12 years now. You've gotten better over.
And I still suck.
You gotten better over time. How's the swing these days, man? Better than Charles Barkley's swing, right?
Probably, yeah. I've worked on it here and there.
How cool is it being on the golf course, though? Right? You got a couple of beers in you. You said it's the most humbling game, right?
It is because so you're out there, you're with your friends, like I say maybe a couple beers, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're just having a good old time. And for me, I'll maybe like shank a few drives and it gets frustrating. And then you just hit the one perfect shot and you're like, this is why I keep coming back. This is why I keep playing. Because there's nothing like hitting the solid golf ball and just seeing the ball take off and it actually goes straight.
Yeah.
And it's just effort, effortlessly.
Yeah.
And no, it's a fun sport to play. It is a frustrating sport to play, don't get me wrong, but it's a fun sport to play. Um, early on, I kind of let it bother me more. Now I'm like, I've gotten a little better, so now it doesn't bother me as much. But I used to get pissed off, like, yeah.
Back in the day, how important is it to have like a specific club? Is it really important to have a specific club, Callaway's or whatever the case may be you use?
I mean, for someone like me, not important at all. I'm not, I'm not a professional golfer,
Yeah.
So if you're just playing it for fun, I would say it's not important.
Yeah.
If you're playing, for money or the tournament, maybe, but I'm nowhere near that point,
Yeah. Favorite golfer of all time?
That's kind of a tough question because I only got into golf recently, within the last 10 years, so I never really sat down and watched a golf tournament until maybe 10 years ago. Obviously Tiger, is up there. But I like Spieth.
Okay.
Rory.
Rory, yeah.
But golf has changed quite a bit in the last few years with the whole live golf and PGA and this and that. So I would say I don't necessarily have a favorite golfer, but I know there's some golfers that I do pay more attention to.
What's your favorite event for golf? Masters, U.S. Open, British Open? What's the one
The Masters is fun to watch because you got the whole history and pomp and circumstance,
Yeah.
and it's always at, it's always at Augusta, so it's always in the same spot every year. So it's
Yeah.
just the nostalgia of it.
For sure. You come from an Italian family, right? Firemen, police officers, all on your dad's side.
Uh
What
huh.
are what or whom inspired you to become a firefighter?
Well, first and foremost, my dad. He was a fireman from 84 to 03.
Wow.
Yeah, so growing up, I was always around the firehouse. I would, when I got older, 5, 6, 7 years old, I would actually go to work with him from time to time. So I get to ride the truck. My uncle was a fireman too at the same time. So yeah, they both had an influence on that.
Did they like
Um,
push you like you should do this, Mike? You should do that. You should. It's a pretty cool
no,
career.
no, never. I wouldn't say push me, but I kind of just, like I said, I always knew I wanted to be in that career.
Okay.
They didn't necessarily push me, but they were, of course, um, ecstatic when I actually did become a fireman. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then my cousin is on the job now. He got hired a little before me. I think 2 years before me, so
Okay.
he's on the job. So. And there were a few uncles before my dad and my uncle that were on a job
Yeah.
in the 60s and 70s. So yeah, so I got a
Did,
long line.
did you see yourself becoming like maybe a police officer though? If the fireman thing didn't work out, were you gonna become a cop?
Uh, so I did. I actually get it all the time. I get the comment, "Oh, you look like a cop." I'm like, I don't know. All right, whatever. I don't. Fine, whatever. Um, so I did take the police tests and whatnot. I didn't necessarily want to be a cop. But I always wanted to be the fireman.
Hmm.
Um, so the answer to the question is no. Although, like I said, I did take those tests, but I was just taking it just to take it. I didn't really have any desire. Um, my desire was always on my desire was always on this side.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
being a fireman.
yeah,
Obstacles. You faced a lot of obstacles, and at one point you took the test 3 times. You considered
yeah,
giving up at one point. You're like, man, I don't think
yeah,
this is for me. I'm pretty much gonna fold it in, mail it in. It's not gonna work out.
yeah, yeah.
What kept you going though? What kept you like,
Well,
I got to
you
do this.
know,
I got to do this.
so like I said earlier, when I was, for the first time taking a test, I was 17. Because you can take the test in New York at 17. You can't get hired at 21, but you take it at 17.
Okay.
And so when I first opened up, I was like signed up, took the test, and I think I scored like an 89 or something. And most people think like, oh, 89 is a good score. Yeah. And the 3 tests I took, well over 90,000 applicants, I think, took the test.
Hmm.
So when you average it out, the top score, well, top score is not 100, but uh, in order to get hired, you got to score anywhere between like a 90, 99, and 100, basically. So if you don't score between a 99 and 100, you're not getting hired. I scored an
Yeah.
89. So
Wow.
and that was with no points. You get points for being a veteran. You get points for being a resident of the 5 boroughs, and so on and so forth. So if you don't have any points extra and you don't score that high, between 99 and 100, there's just no shot.
Yeah.
My cousin, him and I took the same test in I forget what year it was. He scored like a 98.7,
Wow.
and it took almost 6 years for him to get hired.
Wow.
And
So
he scored a 98.7.
wow,
So it just gives you an idea of how competitive it actually is.
for sure.
Yeah.
What does being a fireman mean to you personally? How self gratification is that for you?
Uh, I mean, I don't really look at it as self gratification. It's just something I always want to do, and I love what I do. You know, I get to meet new people every day. I get to no day's the same.
Yeah.
I have my days where nothing bad happens, and then I have my days where bad stuff happens. Kind of evens out. Um, but the fact that I get to meet people throughout the day, throughout my tour, I get to help people. That's a big thing. It's a big part of it. But I said I don't really get any gratification out of it. I just love what I do. So
Yeah. You any rescue any animals over the past couple of years? Dogs, cats? How many animals
uh
you rescued before?
animals, well, no, they were
Perished?
unfortunately it was, yeah.
Wow.
We had a fire in a house, and there was multiple animals, and unfortunately they were just too far gone by the time we got to them. But yeah, so
What's the tallest building you ever scaled?
scaled.
Yeah, like with a ladder all the way up there, 20 something floors, 30 floors up.
Uh, well, for those like those ultra high rises, our ladders don't even reach anyway.
Okay.
Especially they don't reach the top. But yeah, it's weird. So like down here, I work in a predominantly neighborhood where there's single family homes.
Okay. So
So
they're
yeah,
short. They're not like
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
skyscrapers or
right,
anything like
right.
that, right?
Yeah, I don't really work in a high rise district, so which is good because high rise fires are a completely different animal.
Completely different. How heavy are those hoses, man? I always wanted to hold a fire hose and just stand back like this. Is it really that heavy?
Oh yeah, yeah. It could be heavy for sure. Um,
Jeez.
yeah, especially the like so we have a few different like attack hoses, and we have a smaller diameter hose and then a larger diameter hose for if we need more water.
Right.
And yeah, it gets heavy.
Jeez.
A gallon of water weighs I think it's 8.33 pounds.
Man.
So yeah, just 1 gallon of water, 8.33 pounds. So think about that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like wanted to hold a hose and just hold it and it'll probably
Uh,
push me all the way back. I have to come
oh
back
yeah,
with it
yeah,
and just like go
yeah.
like
When you
this,
when
go like
you
that. Yeah.
when you have the water flowing and you have the nozzle open,
Yeah.
if you're not careful, that'll put you on your ass for sure. But yeah, especially if you don't know how to handle it. Yeah,
Man, oh man. So now you're
yeah,
driving the truck. How cool is that? Was
yeah.
that a difficult experience getting to that level?
Uh, yes and no. So driving the truck's fun. Honestly, I love driving.
Yeah.
But it's not just driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're driving the car, whatever, but it's there's more to it than that. So actually, I'm the one that essentially gets water to the fire. So I actually have to pump the water to wherever the nozzle person is the one that's actually putting the fire out. So they depending on what where they are in the building, how much hose I have on the ground, how far away they are, if they're you know 2, 3, 4 stories up, wherever they are, I need to make sure I give them the correct pressure to
Right.
get the water to the fire.
Right.
So a lot comes into play with that. So like I said, it's not just driving. There's calculations that I got to do,
Right.
in terms of friction loss and whatnot. And I don't want to bore you with that math, because I hate
Mhm.
math, but yeah, so there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, when bad things happen on the fire ground, it comes down to water and water
Wow.
supply.
Yeah.
And so that driver position, especially on the fire ground, is paramount, and it's one of the most important positions on the fire ground, because as a driver, you're the one that's getting water to where it needs to go.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
quickly you have to get ready? You're in the the fire department. You're just hanging out, chilling. You get a phone call. How quick you have to get dressed, jump in your truck, get all the guys, go to the location. How much time is that? Because time is of essence, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Time is of the essence.
Yeah.
Every second, honestly, truly, every second does count.
Yeah.
We could be sitting at the kitchen table talking like we are right now,
Right. Right.
and the tones go off, and we're out the door in 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, the tones go off for a fire. Whatever we're doing, stop, run in the truck, and we're hauling ass. We get on the truck, throw our gear on, and like I said, we're out the door 30, 45 seconds tops, and well on our way to whatever address. So it
What's,
happens quick like that.
what's the first thing you guys do when you guys get there? You guys get there, you survey the scene, or
Uh,
you just get the hoses? Who
it's
who
a
does what?
It depends. It depends on what we got.
Okay.
So for us, so there's a driver,
Hmm.
there's the officer, and there's two guys in the back. There's two guys in the back. Typically, we have typically there's the nozzle person, and then the tool guy, forcible entry guy. Um, so if let's say it's an address in our response area, and we're going to be first in, it all depends on what we have. So if we're first in and it's a confirmed fire, the officer's going to do his size up.
Okay.
Me as the forcible entry guy, slash door guy, my job is to force the door to the fire apartment or fire room. So force the front door.
Right.
And then the nozzle person's job is to pull the hose and get to the front door and get ready to go to work. Once we kind of find once the officer does his size up, sees what we got, and I pop the door, and then we make entry, right?
Yeah.
And then now it's my job. The nozzle person and the officer are going to go in, and then I'm the third guy in line, and I'm just kind of helping move the hose. So I'm basically in and out of the structure,
Yeah.
depending on how far deep the fire is in. So I'm in charge of making sure the line actually gets into place, if you will.
Yeah.
And then the nozzle is the one that's putting the fire out. So
Who gets on the scene first? You guys or police officers, right? Or you guys?
Honestly, believe it or not, a lot of times police officers.
Okay.
And if there's any police officers watching this, please don't block us in. Oh my God.
How annoying is that? That happens all the time?
Yes. Every time. And I'm like, do you have water on your car? No, you do not. Get the fuck out of the way. Like, what are you doing? They will park right in front of the firehouse.
Yeah.
And I say firehouse, I don't mean the firehouse. I mean the house that's on fire.
Right.
And it's like, what are you like? What can you possibly be doing?
Yeah.
You're getting in our way. I've seen it where they actually shut not so much on fire, but they've actually like shut down a street.
Right.
Like before we get there. And it's like, how do you expect our rate to get through? We can't.
If the street is shut down.
But it happens all the time, and it's oh God, it's crazy.
Do you guys get along though, officers and firemen? You guys hate each other, or is it
we get along. We get along.
Okay.
Yeah, but they do be doing some stupid stuff. All right. I mean, listen, I'm sure they talk about us too, whatever.
Yeah, vice versa.
But I'll say this: you'll never hear a fireman who switched careers and became a cop, but you always hear about cops switching careers and becoming firemen.
Wow.
That's it. Done. That's end of story. Boom. Done.
Interesting.
They always say the difference between firemen and cops. The firemen passed the fireman test. The cops didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm kidding in a way, but
right. Yeah.
They mean well, but they get in the way quite a bit. Yeah.
any crazy stories being a firefighter? Like a holy shit, that was nuts.
Well, yeah,
man.
I mean, crazy stories kind of come with the territory, you know.
Yeah.
I had one particular fire. This is probably about a year or so ago. 3 o'clock in the morning, and so obviously, we're sleeping. Phones go off. Oh shit! All right. We get to the truck, and we pull up on scene, and there's just a ton of smoke in the street. So much so that I couldn't even see the house really. Like, all right. So we make our way through the front door, and we basically high heat and zero visibility. I couldn't see this far in front of my face. Wow. The nozzle guy and the officer were about. I had the door for that fire. I was a door guy, and nozzle person and the officer were about a foot in front of me, and I had no idea. I knew they were there. I just didn't know where they were in terms of how close they were to me.
Close they were.
They were about a foot in front of me, and we're about 5 or 6 feet into the structure. And at first it was okay, like it was manageable, and I just started feeling heat like behind me, which is never a good thing.
Right.
And I had checked for that prior to making entry, and once I started feeling that, I'm like, hey, I kind of took a step back. I was like, hey, like something's not right. And and this is probably within like this is going on like 6 minutes now that we're in there. And it got to the point I was like, hey man, like let's back out. We gotta figure something else out, you know. So we back out a little bit, and the thing was almost like seconds away from flashing on us.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So it got real fucking hot in there.
Jesus.
I came out. All our helmets were charred. Our mask was charred. Yeah, it
Jeez.
was. It was probably my first moment on the job where I was like, "Oh shit."
This is real.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And yeah. So uh, basically, what happened was is the fire was in the rear. We went through the front door.
Mhm.
Fire was in the rear. Um, the nozzle person trying to make the fire, trying to make it to the fire, but there was a bunch of stuff in the way. So there was a wall. And behind the wall is where the fire was. Well, he couldn't make it behind the wall, and the wind was coming from that direction.
Wow.
And I guess the window in the front broke. Whether it broke because of the fire or someone vented it, I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. But either way, so once that window broke, it kind of just drew the fire to us, and that's what
Wow.
happened. Yeah. So it was
What's the
no,
number one
and it was a windy
cause?
night too.
People don't notice winds and fire, like it goes hand in hand, man. That wind can
Yeah,
make
yeah.
that fire a whole lot more,
So
spread it so much
mo
faster.
Oh, 100%. So anytime you open a door to a fire or a window, whatever, you're feeding it what it needs, oxygen,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Oxygen. Yeah.
So most people, if their house catches on fire, they don't necessarily think of, oh, well, they're thinking of, I need to escape, right? But
Right.
they're not thinking about closing the door behind them. And so a lot of times, you get a fire and you get there, and the door's wide open.
Yeah.
That's not good for us. Not good for anyone else that's in the house, because with that door open, now there's just a path for fire to go wherever it wants to go.
Yeah.
And and you can look up videos and whatnot, of in terms of bedrooms where the door is closed and bedrooms where the door is open, and
Yeah.
you will not believe the difference. You can have a raging fire in one bedroom, all right, and the next bedroom with the door closed will be untouched.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
There'll
Just
be
because
there'll
of the
be
oxygen.
minor there'll be minor smoke damage.
Yeah.
The front of the door will be charred, obviously, but
Right.
the room itself will be untouched
Nothing in there
because the door was closed.
because the door's closed. Yeah. No
Yep.
oxygen getting in.
Yep.
What do
But
you
if
think
that
causes fires the most? What do you think causes fires the most? Oh, just generally speaking, what do you think
um
that you've seen over the years?
well the big thing now is EVs, right?
Okay.
And not just cars, but like the lithium ion batteries, right? So the electric scooters, the electric cars,
The
this and that.
Teslas. Yeah.
Right. And what happens with that is so people tend to buy the cheaper chargers for these items, right?
Uh huh.
And that are not necessarily made for those devices. Because they're trying to save a buck,
Right. Try to
but
save money. Yeah.
so instead of getting like let's take the scooters, instead of getting the charger from the company that makes the scooter, they go to the whatever Best Buy, I don't know, whatever, and they buy the cheaper charger. Well, what happens is those chargers aren't rated for it, and they tend to overheat. And once it overheats, then it starts a
Yeah.
fire.
Game
And
over.
those lithium ion batteries are notorious,
Yeah.
and they take seconds to ignite. And once they
Yeah.
do, it's hard to put them out.
Yeah.
And then you got your older construction, especially up in New York. A lot of it's wood, so you get fire there. The fire tends to travel and void spaces, and like I said, you're talking about building that are 100, 150 years old. Um, so it's just faulty wiring, and
Yeah.
there's so many factors that go into fires.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yep. You ever had like a hard day? I mean, you've seen animals pass away, human beings, jaws of life. You ever come home and be
yeah,
like, damn, that was tough, man.
yeah. Oh, for sure. For all the days that we have that we're shooting around talking shit and
Yeah.
having a good day, we have those days where it's like, damn, like shit, like you get those calls that hit you, and
Yeah.
the ones that hit you the most are the kids, the pediatrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have kids, but it still doesn't matter. But it hits you with kids, especially. And I've had the fortunate experience a few times now dealing with kids and
Yeah.
passing away. And it sucks.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating that. That's it's part of the job. And you kind of like just deal with it at the time, and afterwards, you just kind of decompress with the crew or whoever it is you need to decompress with,
Yeah.
and take it from there. I'm lucky in a way. I talk to my like I said, my friends from the station, my crew, and my dad too. So I have outlets, but some people don't, so they use other ways to deal with that.
Yeah.
Some aren't the best,
Yeah.
but it's unfortunately, like I said, it's part of the job, and yeah.
At this stage in your life right now, 2025, if you weren't a firefighter, what would you be doing right now today if you weren't battling
Well, I don't
fires?
know. I don't know, man. Because honestly, like all I ever thought about was that. So I always knew I wasn't an office person.
Yeah.
I'd be miserable if I was doing a 9 to 5 grind
Yeah.
in an office all day, sitting down like that. That's not for me. That never was. Even back to going to school, like I hated sitting there
Yeah.
for 8 hours a day. In math or whatever science.
Yeah.
So you know, if I wasn't doing this, I for sure would not be doing any job like that. Maybe something with building something or something with my hands, or something with sports, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not playing sports, maybe something in that field.
Right.
Yeah.
Who drinks more, firefighters or police officers? Who the biggest drinkers? Or is it about a tie?
We're, I mean, it's kind of a tie because we all see the worst in life.
Yeah.
Um, we see a lot of tragedy. So it does get at you. If anyone that tells you it doesn't get to them is lying.
Mhm.
They're lying to you. They're lying to themselves. It does get to you. There's just no way around it. And if they say it doesn't get to you, like I said,
Yeah.
either they're lying or they're not human. This is the bottom line.
Yeah.
And you know, we drink, cops drink. It's probably about the same.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the answer. Obviously, there are better ways to handle the stress of the job than that. But
For sure.
then again, listen, coming home and having a drink,
Yeah.
as long as it stays a drink or a drink or two,
Right.
not 10 drinks.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem.
Yeah, then now you just have a problem.
Yeah. How important is it to have that tight knit group? You guys like a brotherhood, your crew? How close and tight you guys are?
Oh, 100%. And it's good to have that tight knit group because when the shit hits the fan, like I said, you can rely on each other.
They have your back, you have
Um,
their back, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And if you have a good crew, you know that if we get something real, I don't have to worry about them knowing what to do. I know that they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I know what needs to be done. The other guy or other girl needs to know they know what needs to be done, and they just do it.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing to have, because if I'm not an officer yet, but if I were to be, and I have a crew that I'm not like so sure about, not only do you have a lot of other things going in your head, now you got to worry about your crew.
Yeah.
Making sure that they know what to do. And I don't mean that the officers not worried about their crew um, all the time. They are, but what I'm saying is that officer knows that the crew knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
That just takes a lot off the officer's shoulders, because the officer got many things to think of. He's
Yeah.
uh, you know even as simple as a car accident. Like, all right, like I see the driver. Is there anyone else involved? Is anyone pinned in the car? Is there more cars? Is there ejections?
Yeah.
Is there power lines next to us? Is the car on fire? Like, all this stuff is
A lot of
is
variables.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all this stuff is going through the officer's mind, and we got to make decisions in a matter of milliseconds
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you make the wrong decision,
Can
people
cost
could
your
get
life.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of decision making involved. So if you have that crew where you already know that they're solid and know what to do, that's just less that the officer has to think about.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, and then it comes back to when you have those bad calls, the kids that die, you get back to the station and you can talk about it amongst the crew. I will say, and most people that are not in this field, and I say this field, but this could go for like nurses, cops, doctors, whatever. Most people don't understand this, but the way to get through it is having a dark sense of humor. It is what it is.
Yeah. Dry, dark sense
Yeah,
of humor just to get through it. Yeah.
you have to have a dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know civilians probably won't understand that, but it's just our coping mechanism. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that coping mechanism, it's gonna be a rough career. You kind of gotta you gotta joke about the things that aren't necessarily good to joke
Your
about. If that makes
typical
sense.
joke. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Just to get through your day or whatever you're going through in life.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it's just and which is why sometimes you'll hear that us or whoever make remarks, and it's like we don't mean anything by it. It's just our way of dealing with it,
Yeah.
and the public doesn't understand that.
Right.
you know, because at the end of the day, we're seeing shit that no one should ever see.
Yeah.
Um, to be honest with you, like no one should ever see the shit we see, but
Mhm.
we see it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And most people see like there's a study. Most people see in their lifetime. Most people see like maybe they'll see two, three dramatic events in their life.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that could be a day for us.
Right.
Think about that and
Multiple calls
multiply
in one
that by
day.
20, 30 years.
Right.
You know,
Until you retire. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
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 And which is why you see a lot of suicides in this profession or cops and whatnot because they hold it in, they hold it in, and hold it in. It's to the point that it just boils over and they can't deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
And so mental health is a huge part of this career.
I mean, you have a good support cast system, right? Your dad, does he give you any advice, day-to-day advice, how to handle certain things?
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
call him up and ask him.
So that this guy's awesome. Like so my dad's was 71.
Hmm.
He retired in '03, and I'll he'll give me the typical like, oh, you can learn from every call you go on. It doesn't necessarily have to be fire, right?
Right.
We go to a lot of medical calls, and I can size up the billing on medical calls, which I do, especially if we're going to the same house, a bunch of times, you know, um, getting to know the layout of the house, so on and so forth. So he'll tell me that, but it's funny, like I'll call and I'll be like, hey, yeah, hey, I caught a job last night. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. What'd you have? Oh, I had this. Oh shit, I remember a job I had back, 25 years ago, 30 years
Right.
ago. And he
Right.
starts like recounting a fire he
Yeah.
had like
He
30 years
remembers.
ago.
He remembers. Yeah, he
And I'm
remembers.
like, you don't remember what you had for breakfast, but you remember a fucking fire you had 30 years ago? What the fuck?
It's amazing, right? It's amazing
Yeah,
how
man.
their memory is still sharp, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh? Like, so
Yeah.
and then he'll be like, yeah, this happened here, this happened there.
Yeah.
I learned not to do that. Oh, all right. So
Yeah.
he gives me some solid advice.
Yeah. I'm happy for you, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you got to live out your dream and doing it day in and day out. It's pretty cool. I'm sure
Yeah.
you're going to retire a fireman and commend you for that, man. Really do. Really do. Really cool
Appreciate
stuff that you got going on
Yeah,
over there.
it's cool. It's
Yeah.
a cool career. It's the greatest job. Like I said, we have it's kind of and it's kind of like being back in high school.
Yeah.
It is. It's a fun atmosphere. We joke around, but
Right.
when it's time to go to work, it's time to go to work.
Time to go to
And
work. Time to go to work. Yeah.
we do what we got to do and press forward.
That's it. You love traveling. What are some places you've been to around the world? What's on your bucket list? Places you want to go, you want to visit anytime soon?
One of the places that was on my bucket list,
Yeah.
going back to Italy, which I was able to do. So that was good. Um, I would say I definitely want to do like Asia, like Bali and Japan and that area of the world, and Australia. Um,
Cool.
but I haven't gotten any of those places just yet.
Right.
Um, Italy was a cool experience because I do have I do my family's from Italy, Sicily. I actually got to go Italy and Sicily, so that was a cool experience.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, just the history over there is amazing.
Yeah.
My first time in Rome, I actually went my first time in Italy. I went with my mother. We went on a cruise, and we a few stops along the way. But we
Yeah.
at the end of the cruise, we stood a few days in Rome, and just seeing the Colosseum,
How
seeing
cool is that, man?
the
The Coliseum.
the Coliseum was awesome.
Spectacular, right?
Yeah, I don't know, just being there was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
You walk in and you're just picturing what happened in that.
Back in the day, medieval times, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of
yeah,
history. A lot of history,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
And the food, obviously. You walk around in certain places, and like you come, it's four corners, and each corner has a gelato and a pizza shop,
Yeah.
and they're
It's like, how do
all
you choose? They're all good. How do you choose?
yeah. Um, yeah, the food's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Coffee, everything.
Yeah.
Been to Spain a few times. Spain was good. Madrid and Barcelona and Ibiza, actually.
Oh, visa. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That was an experience.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So
Snowboarding, man. How did that come about? Cool locations you've been to, Hunter, many locations you've been to. I know you got some stories, man. I know you since for a long time. You've been snowboarding for a
yeah.
long, long time.
Well, so I started skiing when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
First, yeah. So first place I ever went skiing was Vernon Valley, which I believe. Well, now it's Mountain Creek. Um, yeah, when I was 4 years old. So I started skiing. I skied pretty much from 4 years old to when I was like 13. And so funny enough, um, when I was skiing, snowboarding wasn't really a thing just yet. It was kind of
Mhm.
just coming out. And I would see, the snowboarders on a mountain, and I'm like, I'll never snowboard,
Right.
And just because I like the ski, I like the skiing,
Right.
and when I was 13, I decided I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me try my hand at snowboarding, and
Yeah.
I haven't went back since.
Wow. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool. What
yeah.
are the temperatures like there up there? Like on that when you snowboarding? 10
So,
degrees, 5 degrees. I don't know how
all
you
right.
do it, man. I don't know how
Well,
you
all
do
right.
it.
So, people are gonna think I'll be lying about this. All right, but this is the God's honest truth. All right. So there was one year. I went. It was me and my buddy Dan. My father, his father. Anyway, we went up to Mont Tremblant, Canada, which is about an hour, 2 hours north of Montreal.
Mhm.
All right. We went up there. It was President's Day weekend, so February. um, we all right. This is the actual air temperature. Okay, I'm
Right.
not making this up. It was 30 below.
What?
Yes.
Man, that's like Siberia and Russia.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that year we flew up there. So we landed at the airport, and we obviously we got to go. We rented the car. So I just remember I'm walking through the airport. I open the door to go outside to where the rental car is, and I like lost my breath for a second, and I was like, "What the fuck is this,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro?" Like my fucking hands immediately like scrunched up. Like that's how
Wow.
cold it was. Like, all right. So we get to the car, and the car is iced over, like iced over, right? It was so cold, right? So remember, we had a 2 hour drive.
To the
With
location. Yeah.
the 2 hour drive, with the heat blasting the entire time, it
Right.
did not melt the ice. Did not melt the ice. The car
Wow.
was still iced over. So we get up to the mountain, and the mountain's a little colder. It's probably like 35 below zero, and with the wind chill, it was like 50 below. And we were out there. We were out there all next day. And it was so cold that you would do a run and have to go inside for like to warm up like
To
for
the
a few
frost.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like to the point where like you couldn't even take your gloves off, your hands would freeze. And
Man, oh
I'm
man.
not saying it was fun. It wasn't fun,
Right.
but that was the coldest fucking weather I've ever been in. And I yeah, to this day it was the coldest I've ever been in. And
Man.
it got so cold that it came within a few degrees of them actually having to close the mountain down.
Wow. It's that cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
How cool is Switzerland? The scenery, the views, any accidents, any slip and falls over the years?
Well, so the first time I ever went boarding, I broke my wrist.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was at Camp Gaw, which is in Jersey. Um and it was it was like I said, first time snowboarding. Well, it's not like a crazy big mountain. It's just the mountain. It had two runs, I think. Anyway, so it came to the last run of the day, and just so happened I fell and broke my wrist.
Wow.
And I remember I go to the doctor to get the X-ray, and at first they're like, "Oh yeah, your wrist seems okay. It's just a bad sprain." I'm, all right, cool.
Mhm.
And like a few days later, the doctor calls, "Hey, by the way, yeah, your wrist is broken. Yeah, we missed it." Oh, all right.
Wow.
So I put a cast on, and the first thing I asked the doctor, I'm like, "Hey, so can I still go snowboarding?"
Yeah.
And the doc's like, "Yeah, okay," because I had the cast on now, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So I get home and my mom wanted to fucking kill me. She's like, "You're not going snowboarding." I'm like, "Mom, I ain't gonna break it again. Like I got a cast on. What do you mean?" So that whole
Yeah.
season, I went snowboarding with a cast on.
Did you really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Man. How
Um,
fast are you going down those slopes? How fast are you going down there? 60, 70,
so I've
40,
clocked myself. I've gotten up to 55, I think.
55?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah,
oh man.
yeah.
I know a
And
friend.
honestly, it doesn't feel like it, but yeah, you look down,
You're
and you go,
moving. You're going.
you're moving. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Man.
yeah. That's probably the fastest I've gone is about 55.
I know you and our dear friend Christine. You guys have a race? Is there going to be a race 1v1 anytime soon? Are
Maybe,
we going to get some results here?
maybe.
How good is that? How good is that on
Stay
the board?
tuned. Stay tuned.
Man, oh man. You guys got to have a race, man. I want to see this. I want to see like a video of this thing or something's
Yeah,
got to happen.
yeah. We can make it happen. We
If
can make it
anyone's
happen.
listening, 1v1. It's got to be a 1v1. You guys know each other for too long now. There's got to be a 1v1 at some
Yeah,
point.
we'll make it happen. We'll send you the video.
Big trip to Japan coming up, right?
Possibly,
Is it going to happen? Possibility?
possibly. Yeah, we're talking about going to Japan for
Okay.
snowboarding. Niseko, which is I guess the island a little north of Tokyo, and it's like the snowiest place on earth apparently,
Yeah.
from what I've been reading about. They get like 500 inches of snow a year.
Yeah.
And they have a huge ski resort, so should be fun.
Yeah.
One I've always wanted to do the Alps, and I got a chance to do that this past winter. We
Yeah.
did the French and Swiss Alps. Started off in Chamonix, which is the French Alps.
How cool was
And
that, huh?
Chamonix was fun. So the weather wasn't necessarily conducive for snowboarding. It was a little too warm.
Okay.
We boarded the one day, and but it was kind of just slushy, and we kind of just decided, hey, like tomorrow we'll just do something else. And we ended up doing other things, which ended up working out. One of which, so Chamonix has a cable car, well, actually two, but a cable car that takes you up. I'm gonna butcher this because I don't speak French, but it's like
Yeah.
Aiguille du Midi,
Okay.
which is the highest point in all of I think all of the Alps actually. It's like 15,000 feet up, and
Man.
you take this cable car, and it takes you up to the glacier, and yeah, you're just you're up there, and the ride up was cool, and you get up there, and yeah, you're just standing you're above the clouds, you're looking down on a little village.
Yeah.
There's a glacier that leads all the way down to back to towards the village, and that was a cool experience.
Wow. That's pretty
Yeah.
dope. I think
Scary
Japan.
because
Yeah,
you're
it's up
high.
there. You're high up there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Japan will be cool though. I think you guys like Japan. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
really, really cool. Really, really cool
yeah,
experience for sure.
yeah.
Being Italian, man, what's that like? Top five of Italian foods. What do you got for us today?
Well, so growing up, pretty much most Sundays, I'd go to my, I call her my big grandma, but she was
Yeah,
my great grandmother. She was my grandmother's mother on my mother's side. Um, she would uh she would always have the fucking Sunday sauce going,
yeah,
meatballs and all that.
yeah,
So we'd go there. Honestly, pretty much every Sunday.
yeah,
Um, you know, uh, family time, cousins, whatever. Usually be about 15, 20 of us.
yeah.
She just, cooked for an army, obviously. That's that old school Italian shit right there. Um, and so that was good. And then, you know, my dad would do something similar on Sundays, and it was funny, like, kind of growing up. On Sundays, and whenever I had like friends over, like, hey, are you staying for dinner? And they're like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, all right, cool, cool.
yeah,
Yeah, we're having dinner around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, yeah, we eat dinner like 3 o'clock. Like, I
yeah.
always thought eating dinner on Sunday at 3 o'clock was
Right.
normal.
Yeah.
To me, it's normal.
To me, it
And
is too. To me, it
yeah,
is.
yeah, like, because you sit down, you have the big dinner, and then you don't have to eat the rest of the night.
The rest of the day, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and yeah, so I didn't know that wasn't normal till like years later, but to me it was. So they're like, "You
Yeah.
eat dinner at 2 o'clock?" Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You don't eat dinner at 2 o'clock? What do you mean? Even like holidays, like
Right.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
dinner was at 3 o'clock.
Three
Like,
o'clock.
turkey was ready to go and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, so having the family time was great. It doesn't happen too often anymore, honestly.
Right.
For whatever reason, whether it's people move away or I don't know. I feel as though the close knit families are few and far between now.
Yeah.
Now you only really see family members, a few times a year.
Yeah. For sure. Best pizza you ever had? Chicago deep dish, Detroit, Brooklyn, New York, Cali. And you said New Haven, right? That was kind
Yeah,
of like that. I was like, wow, really, New
yeah,
Haven?
yes. All right. So the best pizza. I mean Brooklyn. All right, come on. All right. What do
Yeah.
we do? But I know people say other things, but Brooklyn has best
Right.
pizza. But anyway,
Brooklyn.
so New York pizza and Chicago pizza are two different things.
Okay.
The deep dish is good. All right. I'm not saying it's not. The deep dish is good. Chicago
Right.
also has thin crust style too. I don't know if you knew that. So it's
Okay.
not just deep dish pizza.
Okay.
But I think the New York is better. But the deep dish is on kind of on a separate scale. So the deep dish, that's Chicago's thing. It is good. It's heavy though. I don't know if you ever had.
Oh, maybe back in the day we went to Chicago. We went to
Yeah.
Chicago for a Cubs game, right? Back in the day, we might have had pizza back out there. I'm not sure
Yeah.
though, 100%.
But yeah, I ordered like two pies, and because I eat,
Yeah.
and I think it wasn't just for me, obviously. It was, I ordered two pies, and I had two slices, and I was full, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
And we had a whole like pie and a half.
Mhm.
So the deep dish, that's Chicago's thing. It is good, but I can't really compare it to like the thin crust, New
Yeah.
York style. But with that said, so I went to school in Connecticut, New Haven specifically, and New Haven is actually known for their pizza. I didn't know this at the time,
Right.
and I gotta say their pizza is pretty fucking good.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a few spots. There's the well known one is probably Pepe's Pizza.
Okay.
They got one of their specials is a white clam pie, which I didn't necessarily think that clam on pizza would be good, but
Right.
I tried it nonetheless. It's
Right.
actually really good.
Wow.
Yeah, surprising. But you got that, and was it Modern Pizza and A Pizza
Right.
were two other places, and they're all within New Haven, and
Oh, in New
they're the
Haven.
same thing, like thin crust, like cooked perfect. Like, honestly, like it's on par with New York pizza.
Wow. When you
Yeah.
told me that, I was like, wow, couldn't believe that.
Yeah, yeah. Most people don't realize they don't know about it.
You think New Haven, you don't think pizza, right?
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
But they got a little They got a little like Little Italy area. I forgot the name of the street. It's been a while,
Right.
but yeah, they got a little Little Italy area, downtown New Haven. So
Thoughts
yeah.
on the mob, The Sopranos, Jersey Shore, Italian stereotypes, fair, foul, accurate?
A lot of it's just stereotypes, honestly. Yeah.
Favorite mob movie of all
Oh,
time?
The Godfather for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Any kind of Italian sayings or slangs you use out of the blue, ordinary, day-to-day basis?
Uh, Not really. I mean, my mom used to say some things, but I couldn't even begin to pronounce them. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, none of us speak Italian, so I wish I did, honestly. But
Mhm.
like my grandfather did, my grandmother, my great grandmother did, but none of us speak Italian. So,
Wow.
I still have family. I still have some family in Italy, but they're like second or third cousins. They're
Second,
in
third cousin.
Sicily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen them maybe once or twice. Um, but yeah. Uh,
That's one language, if besides English, you would love to speak Italian, but it's never happened.
well, that and Spanish because they're very similar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I've gotten better with the Spanish. Living down here, still
Right.
not necessarily fluent in it, but
Right.
I understand it more than I speak it.
There you go.
Yeah.
What kind of music you listen to these days? What's in
Uh,
your Rolodex over there?
Rolodex. Nah, that's a good one. Your younger crowd won't know what that is. Shit. Yeah. So honestly, like I listen to a lot of like 90s, 2000s, or like
Okay.
2010s music.
Yeah.
I like the. I can't believe I said old stuff, but yeah, I like the older stuff. I think today's music kind of sucks.
Trash. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. But my taste in music is crazy because like my mother grew up in the 70s. My father grew up in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
My mother grew up in the 70s and 80s. So like my range of knowledge of music for whatever reason, I like classic rock, disco,
Right.
my generation's music. Like I kind of know a bunch of music from different generations.
Right.
So like I'll listen to the fucking Bee Gees, bro. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It doesn't
You
matter. Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, like that's
The
fucking
mood, the
classic
vibe.
songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, my range of music is kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Favorite beer? What do you drink now? Dark, light?
I don't really drink beer as much. I don't really drink beer too often anymore.
Okay. Good.
But
Okay.
I love a good Guinness.
Okay.
And when I was in Ireland, I went to the Guinness factory in March for St. Patty's Day,
Oh, cool.
and that was fun. And
Yeah.
they know how to pour a Guinness, obviously.
That white foam up top there, right? It was pretty
Yeah,
good. Pretty
it
good.
was just right. I'm like,
It's an
oh
art
man,
to it, man.
ah,
Nice and cold, chilled. Good stuff, man.
there's 100% art to it. Like I will not get a Guinness unless I'm at an Irish pub.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you order a Guinness at these other places, they just don't pour it right. They
Yeah.
just don't. Yeah.
It's a shame.
I was a huge IPA drinker back in the day, but
You were. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't really drink. I don't really drink beer anymore. When I do drink, it's pretty much like like whiskey or bourbon or whatever.
Right.
But and that's another thing I don't do. I don't really drink too much either anymore.
Wow.
For whatever reason, maybe just getting older. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like I like to sit back, maybe have a couple drinks, but it's not like I'm drinking every
Yeah.
day or going out and drinking 10 drinks. And
Yeah.
those days are, I don't want
Behind
to say
you.
they're over, but God,
They're behind you. Yeah.
they're few and far between, man. Because if I do that, it takes me 3 days to recover, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
hell is
You're
going on
not.
here?
You're not in your 20s no more, man. Take some time.
Ah,
Take some
man.
time.
Oh man, I'm out of commission.
Ever moving back to New York? Anytime?
No.
That's it, huh?
That's it. I'm done.
Mm.
I'll come back to visit, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's expensive, and New York's not the same as it used to
Yeah.
be. It's expensive. A lot of, especially in the city, a lot of the people that are there aren't even from New York. They're from other places of the country.
Right.
They're coming here, and whatever it is, gentrification. I don't know, but it's just
Yeah.
it's not the same. I'm sure it's not the same as it used to be.
Right. Shed some light on September 11th. What do you remember most about that day? Where were you September 11th? Do you remember anything
Uh,
about that day?
yeah, I was in seventh grade. I was in homeroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad was off that morning, um, but he ended up obviously going down there. Um, he as soon as the first plane hit, he hopped in his car and headed down to his firehouse.
Hmm.
And he ended up getting down to the trade center a little after the second tower fell. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Wow. Crazy,
yeah.
crazy,
And he was,
crazy thing.
he was there for weeks on end.
What are you lifting these days, man? I know you Jim Rat over here. What are you lifting these days?
Yeah, I was repping 225.
All right. Very good, man. Fantasy football. How many leagues you're in this year?
Just the one.
Just one league. Okay.
Yeah,
Back in the day, it was like 4 or 5 leagues. We used to do a
yeah.
lot of crazy things. It's too much now.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Too
Too much
much. Just
time.
the one.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my draft was the other night. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. All right. What happened to the New York Rangers, man? I feel like they need to reset. They kind of did reset. The window kind of closed pretty fast, right? It seems like.
Yeah. I don't know. They had a down year last year. And obviously they traded away some players this year. They hired a new coach, Mike Sullivan from Pittsburgh. So
Yeah.
um, we'll see. They had a good run. I can't be mad at it. The last 10 years, it didn't result in a Stanley Cup, but they did
Yeah.
have a good run.
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference Finals like 3 or 4 years. They made the finals in 2014.
Right.
Lost to the Kings, but so they were, like I said, they've had a good run. Provided some really really good moments over the last 10, 12 years. But just had a down year last year.
Yeah. Hopefully they bounce back and get this thing right going forward. Who's your
Yeah.
favorite hockey player of all time? You got a favorite player that you like?
So I didn't really get into hockey until within the last let's say 15 years.
Okay.
So I would say my favorite player is probably Lundqvist.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wish I got into hockey when I was younger. But hockey was not really my thing at the time.
Yeah.
So
Thoughts on Cam Ward, former Hurricane QB1 versus with the Titans right now. How do you think he's going to be as a pro?
yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, he did really well his senior year or his last year in Miami, and
Yeah.
but as we know, the college game doesn't always translate to the
The
NFL.
pro game? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think he'll be good, but time will tell.
Yeah, for sure. Hey man, life comes at you fast, right? 1 minute you're like 25, the next minute you're like 40, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's getting faster and faster as we age and go older.
Oh,
It's crazy, man.
it is crazy. It
What are you
is
going to be
crazy.
doing 10, 15 years, 20 years from now? What are you going to be doing?
I mean, that's the age-old question. I mean, still doing what I'm doing now, and hopefully, going to my kids' baseball games,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
softball games.
yeah. There you go. Hey, absolute pleasure having you on today. Let's
Yeah.
meet up in New York, have a beer, or I don't know, you don't drink beer anymore, or maybe
Yes,
an
yes,
old
yes.
fashioned or a
Oh, I
whiskey
said
or
I don't
something.
drink beer as often anymore, but
Often anymore.
but yeah, for
Let's
sure,
meet up for old time's sake, man. Let's turn
for
this thing
sure.
back. First podcast you ever done, right? You did pretty damn good
Yeah,
today,
yeah,
man.
for the most part, yeah.
We
Yeah.
used to do this thing way back in the day. We used to do like only audio, but now we're doing
Yeah.
the video now. So it's a
Yeah.
different format, but it's pretty cool,
Yeah,
man.
it's nice. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on here and being on Mic'd Up, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And he's Mike. I'm Kenford. This is Mike Up. Peace. Don't go anywhere, Mike. Stick around. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining
All right.
us.